The Lord be with you. Please make your way back to your seats, and we shall begin. Well, it's good to welcome you back, friends, and we're going to begin our afternoon plenary today. And when I invite us to move together, to journey together, I really mean that not just on this larger journey that we're in as Christian disciples, but through the course of this annual conference, we're gonna have to walk together and to do our part to move the agenda, to ensure that we're all mindful of where we are and where we need to be, especially that we're not in a hotel ballroom or a convention center setting where it's easier to call people in. We really need everyone's help to monitor time and what we need to do, all right? In the tradition of the church, the bell is an ancient sound and signal to call people to certain things. When I was a young person in the Philippines, we would go on activities in local churches in the countryside, and I grew up in a church without a bell, and so when we went to those far-flung places, we would line up to ring the bell when it was time to call the people to. And so one time I went and I volunteered and I rang the bell, and then the pastor comes up to me like just pale to her face, and she said to me, stop, and I said, what, did I do anything wrong? And she said, the rhythm, the way you were ringing it is to announce that somebody had just passed away. So let the bell, the sound of the bell, be our invitation, our call, if you may, to come back and to center ourselves to do our work. Amen? Amen. I want to introduce to you the head table here, because it takes a village to lead. I want to acknowledge our annual conference secretary, Reverend Diamond Pate. And our agenda chair, Ms. Trinity Donovan, who's and there we have our screens up, we have our note cards and everything. We're going to move this agenda, but it'll take you as well to move this agenda. In the row behind us, we have our Chancellor Mary Lee Clark, who is with us, who also serves as our parliamentarian for annual conference sessions. And then we have our annual conference leader, Alberta Farnsworth, who is with us as well. And Bishop's executive assistant, Ms. Julie O'Neill, is with us as well. All right.
So I have a few things, a few more. It's on. Maybe it's on. Make it closer. Yeah. A few more announcements for you all this afternoon. It's so good to see such a full sanctuary, but we do have an overflow space if it gets a little more crowded. It's in the chapel right over that way if you need additional seating. But when it comes to voting, all voting members need to be in this space. So please keep track of that, because there is a little bit of a delay in the live stream. Please note that we do have a paramedic on site. Wayne is right back there in the bright orange. You cannot miss him in that back corner. We also have a communications table and in the back, but don't bother her. She's over that way. And then we have a charging station over here. If you need to charge some devices, she has some portable charging devices, but please bring the devices back when you are done using them so that the next person can use them. So those are where those devices are located. We also have an interpreter in the back over there. Again, don't bother her unless you need your interpretation device, but she needs that space and privacy. And those are all of my directional announcements for the opening today.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna be led in a land acknowledgement by Joanne Miles Long.
Hello again. On key Jujik, Joanne Miles Long. I am Joanne Miles Long, and I'm a lifelong member of the Greater Phoenix community and an enrolled member of the Gila River Indian community. And I'm very pleased to be here with you today to welcome you to the ancestral land of the Akamel Atum. By the way, I'm also a member since 1985, the year I met my husband, of the United Methodist Native American Fellowship. Since I grew up here, of course, I attended the local Phoenix schools. By the time I graduated from 8th grade and I went on to high school, I became a dropout. I dropped out of South Mountain High School, Carl Hayden High School, Tempe High School, but I finally earned my GED at the Phoenix Job Corps. Thus, I soon began my adult life journey. But first, let me speak briefly, please, about my parents, because I am nothing without them. Both of my parents were born in the high central eastern mountains of Arizona, like their parents before them, for many generations back. My father, David Norman Miles, from the Gila River Indian community, was a World War II U.S. Army paratrooper, a recipient of the Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars. I'm sorry, but I always cry when I talk about my parents. You're never too old to love your parents deeply. My mother, Marjorie Miles, was a homemaker, a domestic worker, a master traditional dressmaker, and a prayer warrior from the San Carlos Apache Reservation. And I have to add this about her. She was fearless, genteel, and always fashionably dressed. I'm so proud and so honored to say that I come from great people. I am so proud and honored to say I am Inde, also known as Apache, and Akamel Atum, the people of the river, also known as Pima. I never miss an opportunity to tell our youth that we come from great people. We have true beauty in the heart and soul that is filled with the concern for others first and foremost. And we are spiritual and prayerful people. I'm also very thankful that I was gainfully employed by the Gila River Indian community for well over 30 years, and I finally retired just a few years ago. The Gila River Indian community also generously granted to me the opportunity to live out my youthful teenage dream of becoming a college graduate. At the age of 50, as a first-generation college graduate, I went further and earned a master's degree in business administration from Grand Canyon University. Currently, in my retirement, I am a fashion designer of indigenous culture. So, now that you know a little bit about me, let's continue. And by the way, my mother and father together had 12 children, and I was the first person in my generation of my siblings to graduate from college, and the only one. Thank you. We are here and we are thriving. We, you, I, all of us, we're on holy and sacred ground. We are on the land that our ancestors are buried for many generations back. For the Akimel O'odham, AKA the Pimas, there are no scientific theories that the Akimel O'odham crossed the Bering Strait. They can't find anything of where we could have migrated from. We are on the land that was once tilled and harvested by my ancestors, the Huhukam and the Akimel O'odham, who came later. They conducted trade over great distances, and they were superb farmers. They built over 500 miles of large and small waterways, nurturing thousands of acres of farmland. These waterways are still being used today by SRP and APS. The entire area of Greater Phoenix was a mecca of work, trade, and social gathering, attended by the Akimel O'odham. From time immemorial, the O'odham lived and prospered here, naming landmarks as noted in our creation story. And some of these landmarks are, well, this is a more recent word, but Arizona, Arlashon, meaning many springs. The South Mountain, Modektoak, meaning slippery or wet mountains. Suvujium Toak is Camelback Mountain. It means pink mountain. Vayanam Toak is Piestewa Peak, meaning Iron Mountain. Comat Toak is the Estrella Mountains, meaning broad, large mountain. And Gatok Toak, Lonely Mountain, meaning the superstitions. And we only recently named Phoenix Skikik, many houses. Too many.
Too many.
We are not the only indigenous nations flourishing and thriving. There are many. The great state of Arizona is home to 23 indigenous nations, and each has strived to create optimum living standards and lifestyles of productivity and harmony with our Creator and our Earth Mother. And I was going to list them all, but I'm going to skip it. In addition, there are currently 575 federally recognized tribal nations in the USA alone. Canada, Mexico, and South America are not included in that count, but they are also still here. And we are all connected. We are fortunate to have been protected by Creator. We are here, we are resilient, and we are prospering. We're still using those values and gifts given to us by Creator from the beginning of time. Our songs, languages, prayers, and ceremonies have not gone into a void space, but carried forward to our Creator by our keepers of the fire, our wisdom seekers, our elders' prayers, and the many whom have come before us. We are grateful to the elders and the leaders of the many nations whom did put the people first, and the land, and the water, and all of our natural resources that were put first and foremost. And to those within our communities who have sustained the sacred beliefs and relationships to our lands, and those who have protected the sacred rites of passage, the language, again, the traditions, the ceremonies, and those cultural principles given to us by Creator since the beginning of time immemorial. Sapo, meaning it is good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. We now introduce our monitors.
Friends, if you want to stand the monitor team, you don't need to all join us up here unless that's something you really have a burning desire to do. Okay, friends and members of the Desert Southwest Annual Conference, my name is Sylvia Harris. My pronouns are she, her, and I am an adult, white clergywoman with no disabilities. I come before you today as the conference's chairperson of the Commission on the Status and Role of Women.
I am Gina Pollard. My pronouns are she, her, and I don't like that you put older adult in here.
I don't make the categories.
It says in the script that I'm supposed to say I'm an older adult, Black clergy woman with no visible disabilities. I come before you today as the conference's chairperson of the Commission on Religion and Race.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Michael Long. My pronouns are he, him. I am an adult, Black clergyman. I come before you today as the conference chairperson for Welcome, Affirming, and Reconciling Ministries.
So along with the Reverend Jen Lambert, who is the conference's chairperson of our Health and Caring Ministries, we continue to do the collaborative work of monitoring our annual conference as directed and required by everybody's favorite book, the Book of Discipline, under the direction of the General Commission on the Status and Role of Women.
The goal of monitoring is to help the annual conference, its members, and its plenary leaders to hold the most inclusive sessions possible. We want to support one another so that every person is respected and given the opportunity to be heard. Monitoring is how we become more intentionally aware of who is participating, serving, and invited into the work of the gathered body.
Monitoring is not policing, participating in the discussion, finger pointing, or shaming. Monitoring is neutral as it attempts to examine its own implicit biases. Monitors observe and we report back their observations to assist us all becoming more self-aware of our conduct towards one another.
While we will come before you sharing daily reports, please be aware that there are other conversations that take place in one-on-one settings where relationships can be more effectively transformative. We have signs on the microphones and up here at the lectern to remind you of the specific information that we are monitoring for. This is because we seek data-driven metrics rather than simply relying on anecdotal or assumptive parameters. Please know these identifiers are optional, and you are only required to share your name and clergy or laity status.
The monitor team will be working throughout the plenary sessions, lunch and learns, and worship services in observing who is called upon to speak, who is scheduled to be present, how we all engage with each other and show respect for one another, and how we listen. We are also inviting you to share direct, confidential feedback if you wish. We have placed signs with QR codes around Lakewood and First Sun City so you can access a confidential feedback document. The form has no required identifying information while allowing you to request follow-up if you wish.
At this time, we ask for this year's monitoring team to please stand or raise your hand to be recognized. Some of them are already standing, so that we beat us to it. We will say it in alphabetical order. We'll go round robin, and I'll start. Ann Light.
Beth Blackwood.
David Harris.
Deanna Yanni.
Dulce Vargas.
Elizabeth LeMaster.
Gina Pollard.
Thank you.
Jen Lambert.
Oh, Joan Meyer.
Laura Land.
Michael Long.
Ofavaki.
Ray Lathrop.
Raymond Spooner.
Sam Parks.
Sarah Evans.
And myself.
And Sylvia Harris.
Each one of us has a monitor tag inserted in our name tags to help you identify who we are outside of this time. In addition, we have the monitor table located to the side of Bishop Carlo and Reverend Pate.
Our hope is in the daily reports that we are able to remind all of us that we are going onward toward perfection as a body, that we are connected to and caring for one another's journey in this world. May we treat each other with grace, recognizing that in this new space, there are growing edges and unanticipated challenges we've already noticed. And in these things, may we trust each one who is here comes seeking to do the will of the one who has called us to love one another. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our monitoring team. This is important work that they do for and on behalf of us. Before we move to the next agenda item, I would be remiss if I do not acknowledge the presence of the Bishop of the New Mexico Conference, who is here with and But really, friends, we have siblings from the New Mexico Conference with us. We have Kathy Jewell, who is right here. Kathy is the conference annual conference lay leader of the New Mexico Conference. And the Reverend Dr. Pam Rowley, who is the district superintendent of the El Paso district. So that's southern New Mexico and West Texas, southern western Texas. That doesn't, yeah. So they will be with us all throughout our time together, and so please show some warm desert Southwest hospitality to them. And if you're interested in serving in the El Paso district, Pam is your person to talk to. All right, there are some. By our rules, there are some agenda items that need to be presented on the first day, and then we need at least 24 hours in order to vote on them so that you would fully digest them. Not that you haven't already done your homework, because I trust that you have. And so the first is the presentation of the conference budget, and I'm going to call the Reverend David Rennick to microphone 1 to make this presentation.
Thank you, Bishop.
And
and Matt Coos.
Our conference treasurer, Matt Coos. Let's welcome them, please.
Thank you. Bishop Rappanute, members of the annual conference, I'm David Rennick, chair of your conference committee on finance and administration. I want to tell you a story about a healthy church. It has to do with a 5-year-old girl, Alex, who when she went to her dad's church for the first time, she was asked to join the choir. She was so frightened to sing in that choir that the words couldn't get out, but the tears would come down her eyes. Her dad joined that choir and became the official hand holder of her. And during that time and over those last 4 years, that choir, that a little bit of hand holding, has been that place where now Alex has a voice to sing out loud and to proclaim her faith. Today, Matt and I want to share with you that extension of a healthy church is one that is done through our connectional work as congregations and as a denomination, one that empowers voices for all. And so it's our pleasure to present to you the proposed 2027 conference budget on behalf of the Conference Committee on Finance and Administration. This year, the budgeting process was modified slightly to better accommodate the request from all ministry areas. After budget submissions were received, they were then first reviewed by the Covenant Council and then by the Conference Committee on Finance and Administration. The proposed budget that will be before you reflects approximately a 6.4% decrease from did you hear that? A 6.4% decrease from last year's budget and incorporates the financial impact of the sale of the conference center as of Monday. The reduction is based on the actual ministry area expenditures that were made during 2025. The complete budget for your pleasures to read over the next 24 hours is available on the annual conference website. If you look under documents, you will see that budget available for your reading and for your review. The proposed 2027 budget will then come before you, before this conference floor for a vote during tomorrow's session. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact myself or Matt Coos. We'd be glad to answer them or to find the correct answer needed. There will also be an opportunity for some discussion before the floor as that budget is presented as well. Alex is taking her voice out into the world, and on July 1st, she will be before a new congregation that will hear the fire that is deep inside of her bones as she flies high. Thank you. This is the conclusion of our report.
All right, thank you so much, Reverend David and Matt. Like I said, this is to have this properly before us, but we would not discuss this until 24 hours or so later. But it's to bring it to your awareness. Next, I'm gonna call. Well, let's ask the members of the CFNA to please stand so that we might thank you for your work. The members of the Council on Finance and Administration. Thank you. We turn now to Reverend Christopher Werbs for the Pension and Health Benefits presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christopher Werbs, and I am a male, and I use he, him pronouns. I am South Korean, American, and I am an adult, and I have no visible disabilities. Bishop, members of conference, thank you. On behalf of the Conference Board of Pension and Health Benefits, of which I am the chair. I will tell you that our board has spent the past several months working through a significant adjustment to our 2027 health benefits structure. And I want to take a few minutes to walk you through what the board is recommending and why. So today I am going to cover three things: why this is happening, what we are recommending, and what this is going to mean in practice. Starting from the beginning. WestPath, the United Methodist Church's benefits agency, has announced that HealthFlex, the denomination-wide health insurance program, will see premium increases for 2027 in the range of 18 to 23%. That is on top of an 18% increase already absorbed in 2026. It seems that I like being the bearer of good news. Now, some of that is I will tell you, one-time catch-up that won't repeat at the same scale year after year. But the underlying medical cost trajectory is real and ongoing. It is worth naming that rising premiums also reflect something we actually want: people using their health coverage. Members of our connection are being seen, getting treatment, and being cared for. That is part of why HealthFlex exists. The cost pressure is real, but it doesn't all come from a bad place. What it also means, though, is that the current cost-sharing structure, which has historically been very generous to the clergy of our conference and other individual participants within our conference, concentrates almost all rate increases on to local churches. At the rate environment in front of us, that is no longer sustainable for many of our churches, particularly ones that are financially struggling. The board is recommending that beginning in 2027, the conference move toward a shared cost structure where participants carry a portion of the premium alongside the churches. So a note worth surfacing here: the conference administers the plan, but the actual dollars flowing into Westpath come from churches and participants. So when we talk about distributing the increase more equitably, what we're really talking about is how much sits with churches versus how much sits with participants. It is important to note that most other annual conferences across the United Methodist Church already operate this way. Also, we are not moving all the way to HealthFlex national averages. This year, we are opting to move roughly to about half of what the national average is for participant payments, with the option to revisit in 2027 based on actual experience before we decide what 2028 looks like. The end result, however, is that participants will pay more across all plans and tiers. The amount of the increase will vary depending on plan and coverage tier. On average, participants will see an increase of about $150 a month, though that figure does hide a lot of variation. Some participants will see less than $25 increase a month, others closer to $300, depending on their chosen plan and tier. The largest increases are on the B1000 family coverage plan, and the smallest are on the H5000 and H2000 plans. Churches will see annual relief of approximately $180,000 conference-wide compared to making no structural changes this year. There are two other pieces worth naming briefly. First, the H5000 plan is the cheapest on the front end, but carries a $5,000 deductible, which can be the most expensive plan on the back end. The board is developing currently an educational module to help participants choose the plan that best meets their needs and budgets. Second, because this decision will financially impact realities for many households in our conference, I want to remind you that any participant can make use of the free financial planning services through EY offered by Westpath. And this is not a sales pitch for any financial product. It is really, and I've used it before, just qualified experts who can help you make a plan to reach your financial goals. If you're interested in learning more about any of that, Dina Reed can provide you with more information. I would like to close by offering this. The board did not arrive at this recommendation lightly. We recognize that for some participants, this will be the first time that they have paid anything towards their health coverage. And for others, it is a meaningful increase from what they pay today. There is no version of the 2027 picture that is comfortable for everyone. What we have tried to do is distribute the weight of this moment as fairly as we can across our churches and the participants who depend on this coverage. We've hosted information sessions over the past few weeks, of which we have recordings, and we have distributed information packets if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, and we are grateful for more honest conversations that might lead to creative solutions in the coming year. And so we commend this recommendation to the conference. We'd like to, I'm told now, open the floor for maybe no questions. No questions. No questions at this time. I will say that if you do have questions or concerns, and many of you have come to me with your concerns and questions already, but if you would like to have further discussion around healthcare premiums or your pension, I would be happy to entertain that conversation offline, as would Matt or Dina or Peter, who is our West Path representative, standing behind me at this moment. Just come find us sometime during the weekend, and we would be able to address your specific concerns. Thank you.
All right. Well, let me nuance that no, that strong no here. It's not that we're muzzling questions. This recommendation is part of what's called the consent calendar, which we're gonna vote on later in this plenary session. In order for us to properly debate that item, it needs to be pulled out of the consent calendar, and then we can discuss it separately. So that's kind of the parliamentary quandary that we are in. And so I would recommend that if you haven't had a chance to talk to our pension and health benefits experts in the room, that you would do that. And the vote for the consent calendar is coming up later. It's up to you. If you feel that your question is unanswered, and it stands in the way of you actually voting for that recommendation, you can exercise your right to pull the item so that we can discuss it further. Now, if it really is more of a technical question as it relates to your own pension plan and how it affects your pension and health benefits, and it really doesn't impact the approval of this recommendation, then I'm wondering if we could postpone those conversations, but we can still move on the consent calendar. So we'll get to that in a bit, but let me just offer that as a nuance so that it's clear. We're not trying to, not have the questions and the debate, but we're trying to move it in such a way that we are faithful to our process. All right? Is that clear? So we're going to move forward. Thank you to Chris and the team. And let me just recognize Dina Reed. Dina, are you in the room? Dina, please stand. Let's give Dina our love for the work that she does so well for us. And then the members of the Board of Pensions and Health Benefits who are in the room, would you please stand so that we might acknowledge your work as well? Thank you. All right. We have a new platform for our voting. And so let's invite our Communications Director, Christina Dillabo, to lead us in explaining and practicing.
All right. I'm going to try to make this easy, but it's incredibly complicated. Just kidding. Just trying to put you all at ease. So, Bishop and members of the annual conference, my name is Christina Dillabo. I am a Latina layperson adult. My pronouns are she, her. I'm delighted to introduce you to our new voting platform, vPoll. So what we voted on before, erase that from your memory. Erase it from your device, really. So we'll practice how to get recognized, and then we're gonna practice how to vote. First, to help the voting run smoothly, I need everybody to check their device. If you already have cell service, turn off your Wi-Fi. It would be great if you could just use your cell service to free up some bandwidth for those people who are relying on Wi-Fi to access the internet. Then, to help voting run smoothly, we will have tech support. There's volunteers around that will walk over to you. You just need to raise your hand. But if you're someone who's comfortable with switching your phone from cellular data to Wi-Fi and back to open up a browser, to use a QR code, scan a QR code, I should say, and you already did it, and your neighbor next to you is having a hard time, please help them out. All right, so before we begin voting, everyone needs to connect to vPoll. On your mobile device, there's 2 ways to connect. The easiest way is to use the QR code. So you'll open up your camera app, scan that. Go ahead and do that now. It also is on the back of your ID badge, if you didn't know that.
Taking photos of us.
Okay. All right. I think somebody's still trying to take my picture. No, it's the QR code. Okay. So you can also, let's go to the next slide. You can also go to this vPoll site by opening up a web browser and going to vpoll.mobi. That address is also on the back of your badge. That's V as in Victor, POLLI .mobi, MOBI. Okay. All right, so when you are at the vPoll site, hold on, when you see a join a meeting on the vPoll site, enter the access code DSAC26. DSAC26. The access code is not case sensitive, so don't worry about that. Then after entering the access code, press the join button. If you haven't connected yet, can you raise your hand, please? Okay, a few more. I see one hand is up. Another. Do you need help? No. Thank you. We've got another couple hands over here that need some help. And one over here that might need some help. I did notice when I was helping someone else earlier to connect that it was going a little slow. So that might be what check to see if you have any progress bar happening on your browser.
We were promised.
That means it's trying to connect. What happens if it's invalid? Okay, so some people are getting an invalid message. So you want to go try scanning the back to make sure you're going directly to the right side. It might have been a typo. Because at this point, we're not even entering credentials. It's just getting to the vPoll site. Oh, I wonder if what you did was enter the wrong access code. I did it too. Instead of entering DSAC 26, I mistakenly entered DSAC 2026. So maybe you guys did that?
Or DSC.
Yeah, don't enter DSC. It's DS for Desert Southwest, AC for Annual Conference, and then 26. Once you're in, it basically looks like a gray screen with just a little bit of text at the top. I mean, what I saw that guy showed you? Oh, that's not working. Wow. Oh, I see. Okay. So again, the access code on the back of your badge says DSAC 2026. That's not correct. It's DSAC 26. Just 26, no 2026. DSAC 26. Okay. No, that the QR code doesn't match that. It matches this. The QR code matches vpol.mobi. So if you're having a hard time connecting using your scanner, just open up a browser and go to vpol.mobi. So skip
Friends,
the QR code.
Friends, we are still in session, friends. Let's try to help the body move along. Let's be patient with those who need to connect. And our presenter is giving instructions and would not be able to do so over the murmuring. And so thank you for your patience. We're going to move together through this. We anticipated that we will take time, and we'll take time until everyone who needs to be connected is connected. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. The good news is once you are connected, you'll stay connected. You don't have to do this every time we're going to vote. Yeah, you're right. So if your device still says invalid, could it be that you're already trying to log in with your name and all that? Okay, so try refreshing your browser and go to vpol.mobi. The access code is DSAC 26. If you are still having trouble connecting, would you raise your hand real quick, please? I see one there, a couple there. So it looks like maybe just 3 people. So we're getting there. There's one right. I think we're down to just 2. Oh, still 3. Oh, okay. I don't think that I mentioned, by the way, we do have loaner tablets that are available over here. If someone's device really just cannot connect, you can borrow one of the loaner tablets for the day, return it, and it'll be available again tomorrow. We only have 30 tablets. So I'm hearing reports that the Wi-Fi is extremely slow. So if you have any apps running in the background, like social media, the live stream, hopefully not. Anything like that that's constantly getting data, shut off those apps that are running in the background. Hopefully you know how to do that. If you don't, and you see that you've got other things open, maybe your neighbor can help you. Again, if you are connected to the Wi-Fi, but your device has cellular data, like you can make phone calls with it when you're not anywhere near a Wi-Fi, that means you have cellular data. So shut off your Wi-Fi, and that'll free up some bandwidth for those that are relying on it. So then they'll need to, okay. All right. Is anyone here using a device that belongs to your work? Like maybe it's a company-issued cell phone, a company-issued iPad or tablet, and you're having trouble connecting. You should probably swap it out for one of the loaner tablets, because maybe your tech support uses a VPN, so it's like a protected network, and it's not going to let you go to sites like this. Could be that. If you're still having problems connecting, would you hold up your device for a moment, please? There's one.
All right, anyone else needing assistance here? So we have one up front here and then another in the back. We're getting there, friends, we're getting there.
We do have loaner tablets that can connect to the site. They're free to borrow if you want to come and check one out. We could bring a loaner tablet to you if you would like to borrow one.
Add to the chaos. Yeah.
Well, how about, could you try a different browser? Like if you have an iPhone, maybe your default browser is Safari. Do you have Google Chrome available? No.
Friends, we are still in session. We are still in session, friends, and we have a presenter who's trying to move our work, and so please, let's focus. Can we try to...
The next part's going to be really fun, if you guys make it fun.
This?
Just wait and see. Because you guys are going to get a chance to practice the get recognized part, where we're going to debate a pretend question. It's a real question, I guess. And you'll be able to put speeches for and against and whatever. You'll see. That's why it could be fun. Just know that whatever you put in there, that the bishop sees, we're all going to see it if you get called up. Keep that in mind.
And, well, this...
And please do not put somebody else's name in there. I don't know how the Spirit might move us. I'm just saying, let's try the honor system. I guess in the meantime, let's hear for our volunteers, right? How amazing were they? Thank you. And if you helped your seatmate get connected, give yourself a pat on the back. If you did help two people, give yourself a second pat on the back, and then feel the love, right? No? Okay. We have one more? One more? Two more. Okay. Oh, so there's...
No person left behind.
3 left.
We got 3 left. Yeah, there's some, it has to do with the credentials. There's duplication in numbers, which happens, clerical errors. So thank you for your grace and your patience.
While we're waiting, I can make some of the announcements for later. It'll help our agenda chair. So tomorrow we're going to take the pictures for the women who purchased shirts for the 70th anniversary of. If you are a woman and you wear shirts, do the 80 shirts. If you are a woman in ministry who wears shirts, we are going to take a group photo at the end of the session tomorrow. So come prepared for that announcement at the end of the closing session. But if you did purchase one of the 70th anniversary shirt, also wear that one. But everyone is welcome, whether you bought the shirt or not. Thank you. Getting announcements while I'm making announcements is quite difficult.
And then the shuttle?
And then I want to make announcements of where the shuttles are. One more down, yay! So the shuttle buses, if you parked in the overflow, will be available at the front of the church patio after the plenary session, but I do invite you to stay for the memorial service tonight, which will be in this space. The shuttles will also be available after the memorial service. And there will be buses available tomorrow morning from 8:15 to 9 o'clock. So if you do not, or you're unable to make that walk, the shuttle is available, and the shuttle drivers are very safe and excellent drivers. I took it earlier.
All right.
There are seatbelts. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it just one more?
Just one,
one more.
yeah.
All right.
All set?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Let's give a warm round of applause to our team, our tech team. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your patience. Now that everyone's logged in, let's practice how to get recognized. So if this is your first time at annual conference, you might not know what that means. To be recognized it means that you're granted permission to address the body at one of the 3 microphones. Then you can make a speech from the floor. You will be able to make a speech for or against, or select from a list of motions from the drop-down in your device. And the motions are all in alphabetical order, so if you're looking for something in particular, it's in alphabetical order. Okay, so to request to be recognized by the bishop, you tap the Get Recognized button on the VPOL site. If you don't see it, push your screen down a little bit, it's at the top. It's a blue button. There's no Get... Did you switch it to the Get Recognized time?
Yeah.
Not for voting.
All right.
We're practicing debate.
I think the bishop has to say load the ballot.
No.
Right?
Not for this part.
Oh, not for
Maybe
this
on
part?
the debate queue?
There you go.
Okay.
The bishop had
All
to
right.
say something.
Well, I'll tell you what to say in a second. Here we go.
All right.
Right. So after you press...
We're ad-libbing now.
After you press the Get Recognized button on the VPOL site, you'll fill out the form. Enter your full name, not a nickname or anything else, because if this was a real deal, you need to have your full name in there so that the bishop can recognize you. If you put Bugs Bunny in there, probably not. All right, so you put your name. Like I said, don't enter someone else's name. And then in the last text box, after you made your selection, if it's a speech for or against or pick from the drop-down, the text box is where you'll summarize what you want to say. Doesn't have to be word for word, just give an idea of what you're going to want to say. The only time that it needs to be word for word is if you're entering an amendment, because we'll be voting on your exact wording.
Yeah.
All the other times, just summarize. All right, so then you select the Get Recognized button again, review what you intended to submit. So it's like a multi-step confirmation process. And then if you're happy with what you see, you press it one more time, and then you just wait. You're going to see on your device, if you were recognized, all the instructions for when to come to the microphone. While you're waiting, you'll also be able to edit what you submitted, or maybe somebody else was at the microphone. You can also, I think it's dismiss or cancel. Withdraw, thank you. You can also withdraw. All right, and then I forgot to mention, all 3 microphones are height adjustable. So if someone before you was using it and they're taller than you, shorter than you, you can adjust it by twisting on the fat part of the microphone and then make it go up and down. All right. Okay, so let's practice. The question that you're gonna see when we do get to voting is gonna be, did you know we have a shuttle service to take people from overflow parking lot to the Lakeview parking lot and back? So do you have something to say about that? Put that in the Get Recognized queue and submit. Okay.
And Christina, I'm seeing 20 or so people already
Okay.
doing that. So
Then you can go ahead and process them and let's see what happens.
yeah. So do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when on our screen, there's an option to click Get Ready. So we'll start with the first speaker. It'll say, Diamond will hit Get Ready, and then the person first on the queue should have gotten a notification to get ready. Did you get it, Dan? Yes. All right. So what happens then?
So
They have the option to.
at that point, you can still edit your question, or I forget, is it dismiss?
Accept or withdraw.
Accept or withdraw?
Yeah, accept or withdraw. And then if you accept it, then, you withdrew. So, yeah. So let's try it again. And so if you would hit Get Ready to the next person. Oh, yeah.
Internet's slow, be patient.
And so, Beth, you should have gotten that. Yeah. And then if you would hit accept, we would see it here that you would accept, and then we would hit recognize.
So don't get up until you say.
Yeah. Don't get up until we hit, so get ready, and then you'll hit accept, and then when we're ready to receive you, we will hit recognize, which is what you did, and then Beth would come up to the microphone 1. Oh, it even says where the microphone is, so microphone 1. And then once you start speaking, the timer will kick in on the screen to give you 3 minutes. All right? So unfortunately, we can't do that for everyone on the queue right now, but you'll have to trust me that that's how it's going to happen. You register your. Thank you, Beth.
We need to show Ethan's
or did you have something to say? No. So you would register to get recognized. We would look at the queue. We would tell you to get ready through this device, and then you could either withdraw or accept it there. If you withdraw, then that's good. If you accept, then you have to wait until you are actually recognized. That's when you come to a mic. All right? Easy.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Hope that makes sense. So one of the things that I failed to mention is that in the affiliation text box, that's a great place to put what church you're representing.
Yeah.
And then, so you should never come to the microphone unless you see on your device that you're invited to come up to the mic. All right, sorry, we skipped out of order, so now okay. All right, so we did that part. Bishop, if you have anyone in your queue, we did that. During the annual conference session, Bishop will lead the voting. When he says, okay, so we're gonna start getting ready for a practice ballot, because at this point, maybe we finished hearing the 3 speeches for, 3 speeches against, all of that. So during the annual conference, the bishop will lead the voting. When he says the ballot is now open, you'll see the question on your device. When the bishop calls to close the ballot, you will no longer be able to cast your vote. You must vote during the times from when he opens the ballot and closes the ballot. Are we ready to do a practice vote? Okay, let's get through this. All right, so the question on the practice ballot is, did you know we have a shuttle service to take people from the overflow parking lot to the Lakeview parking lot and back? Bishop, please open the ballot.
The ballot is now open. Please vote now.
So we're running the practice vote now. So we're gonna need to show Ethan's screen on the big screens, please. Uh-oh. We weren't supposed to show that yet.
All right.
I think we're showing the wrong display.
No, this isn't the slide.
That was from our practice vote yesterday. Sorry. It's okay. We're all figuring this out. It's a new setup for all of us. Huh? Oh, Glade, you're on the wrong screen. Or the wrong link? I don't know. He said it's the only one he... We're getting there.
This one. No. All right. Please, looks like everyone has voted. Who needs to vote? Please close the ballot.
Oh, well, he had to walk over there.
What's that?
He had to walk over there to give them the right link, so he can't close the ballot.
Oh, okay.
Isn't this the best practice session ever? We're getting all the kinks out, so that means when we're really voting, we're gonna be pros. None of this, oh, things got messed up. This is great. I mean, we could continue.
I think we can bundle it. Yeah.
Can we take the screen off at least?
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're connecting.
So disregard what's on the screen. So when everyone has voted, I might ask, does anyone need more time to vote? And then I'm gonna ask something like, has everyone who needs to vote voted? And then you would nod quietly. and then I would declare the ballot closed. And then that would give me on my screen the results. And then what I would do is I would read the number of votes cast. In this case, it's 269. And then the number of votes required to pass the motion. And in this case, it's 135. And then I would say the results. The yes votes have it, 243. There are 19 abstentions and 7 no votes. Yeah, so those of you who voted yes, tell those who voted no where the shuttles are. And then what would happen, not right now, but what would happen is it would show on our screen as I announce the results, sort of on a little bit of a delay, it would show the percentages and such. All right?
That's it.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
I'm all done. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. All right. We move on to the consent calendar. There's just 2 more items for us today before we break and transition into our memorial service. And a little bit about that. The memorial service, we've invited the families of those who have passed in the recent year, who were members of our annual conference. And so I think it would really mean a lot to them if we would be here for them as we celebrate the memory of their departed loved ones. So we're going to move to the consent calendar now. So Diamond, would you lead us in that?
So to expedite plenary sessions at annual conference and to reserve time for matters that need to be discussed in more detail, our conference rules allow us to have a section on our annual conference agenda labeled as the consent calendar. On the consent calendar are generally items that are non-controversial and don't require much, if any, discussion. The consent calendar allows the annual conference voting members to group these items together under one heading and decide them at one time. If the consent calendar is approved by a simple majority of voting members, then all items on the consent calendar are approved. Now, our conference rules do have a procedure for removing an item from the consent calendar for separate discussion. This can be done by a vote of 30 or more voting members of our annual conference. I refer you to the voting chart. It looks like this. If you are not sure if you are eligible to vote or not, it's on your screen, the voting chart. It's on the website. We also handed out some paper copies in your pews. A removal of the item from a consent calendar enables this item to be considered and voted upon separately if discussion is needed. The items that are currently listed on the consent calendar are on the conference website under Documents in the consent calendar section. They're also listed on the slides. It was on the slide previously, if we want to go back to it. Thank you. These are before you to review, but this is our consent calendar.
All right, this is properly before us from the Sessions Committee, I believe, particularly the legislative subgroup of the Sessions Committee.
And there's 2 pages of slides, so this is page 2, so no, there's 2.
Can we show slide the 1 of 2 just for reference? Thank you.
The budget is incorrectly listed on this slide, so you know we presented that earlier today and we will vote on that tomorrow.
Yeah. So if you didn't catch that, the CFA proposed 2027 budget should not be on this list. So if we vote on this, that's not part of it. That's a separate vote tomorrow.
Correct.
All right, it's properly before us. Any discussion? If you want to gain the floor, use your devices to get recognized. Let me give it a few moments to see if there's anyone who wants to be recognized. Is anyone trying to get recognized? Just raise your hand and we'll wait for you. Oh, there's one. So yeah, let's have you do that. This is not in order at this time. So I don't see anyone try. Oh, all right. So yeah, why don't you the second one? And let's go ahead and recognize. Yeah. Let me recognize Brian Morrow Way, and I don't know what microphone. Yeah, I think microphone one, please. Yeah, as you begin yours, would you introduce yourself, your local church setting, and then state why you're coming to the microphone.
Just getting it open. My name is Brian Morroway. I represent Desert Spring United Methodist Church. My pronouns are he, him. I'm an older adult male, and to my knowledge, I have no disabilities. I come with concerns about the pension and health benefits. I understand the quandary, but and I don't know whether we would remove the entire part of that, or in particular, it's recommendation number 4 related to Health Flex that I would like withdrawn from the consent calendar.
So is that a motion that you would like to make?
Yes, and it's a motion to remove recommendation number 4, the Health Flex, from the consent calendar. But I don't know whether you have to do the whole set of recommendations or just that one. If we can remove just recommendation number 4, then that's what my motion is.
All right. Is there a second to that? It is not seconded, so. All right. Is that a second to the motion? All right. So it's properly before us then, friend. So this works like an amendment. There's a motion to pull this item from the consent calendar so that when we vote on the consent calendar, we don't vote on that and we find time in our agenda to discuss it. And it's recommendation number 4, I believe that's being. So this is what's before us now, not the consent calendar. So is there anyone who would like to speak for or against that motion to pull this item from the consent calendar? So it's like an amendment. Let's do this for the interests of time. Is there anyone who would like to speak for or against this motion? Just raise your hand and I'll call on you. Yes, I see a hand. Microphone 2, please. And just as a reminder, we're not debating the merits, the content of that provision. We're just debating whether we should pull it so that we can discuss it at a different time or not. Okay.
My name is Sandra Burke, but everyone calls me Muff. I come from Page Community United Methodist Church. And as you can see, I am a boomer. And my pronouns are she, her. And to my knowledge, other than I can't remember, I have no visible disabilities. I object to this being removed on the basis that I think the committee, in good faith, presented this to the conference, and I think their work should be recognized and honored. And by removing it, I don't think we're doing that.
All right, that's a speech against. Anyone else want to speak for or against this motion to pull this item? Are we ready to vote? I don't see the slide queued up, so let's do this by a show of hands. Is it queued up? The motion? Okay, we got it. All right, so the motion before us is to lift the pension and health benefits recommendation from the consent calendar. There was one speech for the proponent and one speech against. It's time to vote. If you are ready, please vote now. If you need technical assistance, raise a hand and our team will be coming to you. All right. Has everyone voted who needs to vote? Anyone need more time? Please raise your hand. I declare the ballot closed, and by our rules, we only need 30 votes, 30 yes votes in order to pull an item from the consent calendar. The motion passes. We have 72 voting for the pulling of this consent calendar item. So we will discuss that. We will pull that from the consent calendar and find an agenda sometime in our agenda to do that. All right? So now we're back to the consent calendar minus recommendation number 4 of the pension and health benefits report. I believe we had a queue earlier. So there was a queue earlier, but we don't see any responses right now. If you would like to, so we're back to the consent calendar minus recommendation number 4. If you would like to speak to that, for or against it, or any other matter, this is your time to gain the floor and get recognized. Thank you for your patience. Seeing it. Is anyone trying to gain the floor? Let's try this. So yes, microphone 1. Yeah.
So my name is Michael Wilkerson, Reverend Michael Wilkerson, pastor of St. Francis in the Foothills United Methodist Church. Pronouns are he, him, white, middle-aged male, Caucasian. The question I have or the recommendation I have is to remove the consent calendar, the covenant council rules, because there seems to be a significant number of changes, and I'm curious of the intention, where they came from, and so I recommend having some discussion of those rule changes.
Mm-hmm. Is that a motion?
It's a motion to remove the covenant council rule changes from the consent calendar.
All right. Is there a second to that? There's a second to that. It's properly before us. So this is another. It's like the previous one. There's a motion here on the floor to pull from the consent calendar the recommendation, the rules change recommendation about the composition of covenant council. So we're going to wait for. Is there a slide that's going to be queued up? Is there anyone who would like to speak for or against this motion? Just please raise your hand. I don't see anyone trying to gain the floor. As soon as the vote is ready, the ballot is ready, we will vote on this. All right. So this is before us, friends, to lift the Covenant Council rule change recommendation from the consent calendar. Please vote now. I see that some of you have already voted. All right, I'm going to call the ballot closed. The 30 vote threshold has been met. The yes votes are 96, so by our rules, 30 votes, then and we can pull that item from the consent calendar. And so the Covenant Council rule change is pulled, and we will calendar that in our agenda for the next few days. We are back on the consent calendar as amended. It's the sausage making, friends. So it's a consent calendar minus recommendation number 4 from the Board of Pensions and the rule change recommendation for the composition of Covenant Council. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to any matter about that amended consent calendar? Are we ready to vote? All right, so let me just go back to the ballot so I know. Oop. All right, so ballot number 2 is not ballot number 2. That's internal language. The consent calendar as amended without recommendation number 4 from the Board of Pensions and without the rule change recommendation for the composition of the Covenant Council. The consent calendar, that amended consent calendar, is before you. Please vote now. Yeah. All right, has everyone voted? It sounds like it. I declare the ballot closed. And the results are, there are 254 yes votes, 4 no votes, and 5 abstentions. The amended consent calendar has been approved. Thank you so much for your work. Friends, that's all we have time for in this afternoon plenary session. Thank you so much for your patience and your grace in moving this work along. We're going to take a 13-minute break, and then we will to transition the stage at the altar and get ready for the memorial service. We invite Alberta Farnsworth, our annual conference lay leader, to lead us in our closing prayer.
Take a deep breath. Our work is done for today. My name is Alberta Farnsworth. I'm a senior adult white female. My pronouns are she and her. Please pray with me. Creator God, it has been a busy day. Thank you for the privilege of being together for this annual conference. Thank you for the inspiring words we heard from Bishop Carlo earlier this afternoon. And learning the history of the original inhabitants of the area in which we are meeting was a way of blessing and acknowledging the land on which we live. We ask your blessing on the work we have accomplished so far. We pray for a restful night and that we will be ready to return tomorrow to continue the important work we are doing in your name.